Well, hi everyone, and welcome back to Reflections and Real Talk, where we discuss the hard truths about life, money, and preparing for retirement. I'm Judy, and today I'm diving into a topic that hits home for so many married couples: how being married or in a committed relationship can sometimes wreak havoc on retirement finances. And we'll be looking at it from both partners' perspectives, to be fair. Because let's face it, financial habits can be very different between individuals in a committed relationship. At the beginning of a relationship, everything might seem like a dream. It might feel like your partner and you will see eye to eye on everything. It might feel uncomfortable to talk about things like money and how you plan to spend it or save it. Money is not a common conversation early on in a relationship. During the courtship phase, each partner may be spending more money to impress the other on dining out, travel, clothing, grooming, and flowers. This makes it even more difficult to discuss things like money, and weddings can be a costly expense as well. First, let's talk about the overspender. Meet Brian and Linda. Brian's idea of enjoying life is upgrading to the latest gadgets, golfing at exclusive clubs, and planning extravagant vacations. Linda, on the other hand, loves her designer brands and never misses a sale. Brian splurges on hobbies cost the couple an extra $20,000 a year. Linda's shopping habits, an additional $15,000. Together, they're burning through money that could have been growing in their retirement accounts. And what is the result? By the time they hit their 50s, they realize they've only saved half of what they need for retirement. And what's the lesson here? Set spending boundaries and agree on savings goals early on in the relationship. Next, we have the undersaver. Meet Emily and Jack. Emily's been diligently putting away 15% of her income into a 401k since her very first job. Jack, however, assumed they could rely on Emily's savings and Social Security, so he's been saving only 2% of his income. By the time they're 60, Emily's account has grown to over $800,000, while Jack sits at a mere $50,000. Their combined savings won't cover the lifestyle they plan for in retirement. Couples, please don't assume one partner's efforts will cover you both. Retirement planning is a team sport. Avoiding difficult conversations can continue to build up stress and anxiety, leading to resentment and frustration. And not talking about important issues like money and retirement planning can be a recipe for disaster. No one wants to spend years together to find out their retirement dreams are at risk. Balancing individual wants and needs to focus on joint goals will help each partner feel valued and respected, because ultimately both partners probably do want the same thing. The goal should be to achieve their vision for financial security, a sound retirement, and a harmonious relationship. If you need help from an objective outside source, you can always seek counseling to work through these issues. And these things take time to resolve, so be patient. Now we're going to talk about the case of ignoring investments. This is Sarah and Mark. Mark handled their investments for years, but his strategy was set it and forget it. Meanwhile, Sarah wasn't involved in the financial decisions at all. Over the years, their portfolio stagnated due to poor diversification and lack of rebalancing. They missed out on major market growth, losing an estimated $250,000 in potential returns. And whether that was due to a lack of interest or trust in one partner, ignoring your investments can cost you big. Please stay engaged and review your financial plan together at least once a year or more. And I hate to call out the ladies here, but I do see it more often with women than men, and the audience for this channel is no exception. I have an audience of about 85% men and 15% women, despite the fact that women do seem to need more education on financial literacy. Oftentimes, men have done a great job managing money for that relationship. But even if they do, later on, if they become ill or pass away, they may leave a woman who has no knowledge of managing money and may be frightened or intimidated. And when that happens, especially when the woman is already in her senior years, it can be daunting to understand managing money and the estate, especially while dealing with the grief of a spouse who is ill or has passed on. Please, both partners, learn about money and continue to stay apprised of changes, even though it's not always the most sexy or stimulating of topics. It's so important. Everyone dreams of being that cute older couple holding hands, still in love after years together. In talking to many of my mom's friends that stayed together for 50 plus years, they told me that couples that stay together don't always have the perfect relationship, and they do have difficult conversations. They talk openly and honestly and are able to compromise and not blame each other for their differences, but work together for a mutually agreeable solution. Next, let's talk about disconnected priorities. Take Tom and Rachel. Tom dreams of retiring in an RV, traveling throughout the country, while Rachel wants a luxury retirement home near the ocean. They've been saving, but for entirely different visions. When retirement approaches, they're forced to compromise, leading to tension and unmet expectations. Another common mistake is taking on too much debt. Meet Kevin and Melissa. They refinanced their home multiple times, taking out cash to fund vacations, home upgrades, and even their child's wedding. By the time they retire, they still have a hefty mortgage, credit card debt, and car payments. Their fixed retirement income struggles to keep up with their payments, forcing them to delay retirement or downsize drastically. Living beyond your means, even with good intentions, can cripple your golden years. Manage debt wisely and enter retirement with as little debt as possible. And what happens when you don't have a contingency plan? Meet Laura and Dave. Dave had a great pension, but when his company went bankrupt, their financial security crumbled. Laura had assumed that their health care would always be covered, but unexpected medical expenses drained their savings. Without an emergency fund or diversified investments, they were forced to downsize and delay retirement. Expect the unexpected, build an emergency fund, and diversify your retirement income sources to protect your future. And finally, the last hurrah. I call this one the last hurrah. This is when one or the other partners is right around the corner from retirement or already retired and decides that they have a great opportunity to make a huge windfall from an investment opportunity or starting a new business. Without discussing this opportunity with the partner, they leverage some or all of their retirement savings, which could be their own or joint savings. And I've seen this happen over and over again. Whether it was investing in a startup business, a tip on a hot stock, or launching a product, one partner was convinced that would take the market by storm. Whether the failures were due to inadequate market research, additional startup costs, or other mitigating circumstances, risky investments later in life can ruin a lifetime of retirement planning and saving. Putting all your eggs in one basket, especially when retirement is around the corner, is one surefire way to lose it all when you usually don't have enough years to make it back financially. And when it's not discussed with a partner, it can cause a lot of stress or even end a marriage. So don't wait until retirement to discuss your dreams. Align your priorities early and work towards a shared vision. Marriage is a partnership, and so is retirement planning. It's not always easy to find balance, but with honest communication and a joint plan, you can avoid these pitfalls. Have you or someone you know experienced financial challenges in a marriage? Please share your story in the comments below. Let's get the conversation started. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, keep reflecting and keeping it real.